Hey, this is Gregory Cox from Figure Out Corners. I'm here at Ultimate Restoration. I'm here with Dwayne, who is the master auto mechanic at Ultimate Restoration. And he was a little embarrassed before, so we started the video again because he actually is a master mechanic. And we were here to talk about just a basic oil change and how much you get at Ultimate Restoration versus other places, other competitors. But we're also going to talk about the 11-point visual safety check that we do.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you want to start it off? Well, first off the bat, most people just do oil changes. Does that also include, at most competitors, let's be honest, at most competitors they do top-offs of all the fluids?
Yeah, they usually top off all the fluids.
Okay.
They do check some stuff on the car.
They do check some stuff on the car.
Yeah.
Not 11 points, but
Not
they do
11
some
points,
checks.
no.
Okay. So the 11-point visual safety inspection is absolutely free.
Yes, it is.
An oil change here is $21. You get all your fluids topped off, but you also get the 11-point visual safety inspection done as well. So let's go through it. Ready? I had to actually write them down because as a civilian, not a master auto mechanic, I had to actually write down all 11 things just so I could keep it organized in my head. So first you check the lights.
Yes, I check all the lights on the car.
Okay.
Make sure all the lights are working. Your signal lights, your four-ways, your headlights, make sure they're aimed right.
Aimed right.
Make
Because
sure
it's
the
safety. I mean, if they're not
indicators
pointed the
are-
right direction, you can't see where you're
Yes.
going.
Can't see where you go.
Okay, basically. So then it's the tires.
And it's the tires. I check the tires, make sure they're wearing right, and see if they need to be rotated, see if there's any cracks or any abrasion in there, or if there's like an object into it, like a screw or something,
Right.
that could give you a flat tire down the road.
Actually, do cracks happen at any particular place of the tire on vehicles?
They're all average. It depends on how you drive the car.
Can we just do it really quick? Let's just take a look at the tire here. Can you get cracks on the inside of the tires as well? And
Yeah.
you launch the car up in the air on your hydraulics, so you can check
You
everywhere.
know, they crack around in here. They get dry rotted.
Okay. So that, I mean, that's potential blowout. Okay.
Yeah.
So now about the wiper blades. Sorry, I'm moving the videographer back and forth here. But on the wiper blades themselves, why is that so important? It doesn't seem like a
For
big
vision.
thing.
You got to see going down the road.
Right.
You don't want to see any streaks or anything like, especially in a big heavy rainstorm like we get sometimes.
Right.
You want to be able to move the water off the window so you can see farther.
Exactly. Well, actually, I did know that that was important for driving, but there's also another reason. If it's so damaged,
It's so damaged you could
You
put
can
the
actually-
gouges in your windshield,
you can actually score the windshield,
score the windshield, and get in your vision.
and that's really expensive. How about the AC condenser? Now, that's the only point of 11 that I really didn't quite understand what it was.
Well, the AC condenser is part of your air conditioning.
Okay.
It's in front of the car. It's in front of the radiator.
Right.
But if any objects like big pieces of paper, leaves, stuff get in
Stuff
there,
you pick up while you're driving.
picking up while you're driving, or just sitting in a parking lot with the wind blowing, real. A lot of times we'll get stuff in there
Now, why is this so important, though?
because it'll make the car overheat.
The car will
won't have
overheat.
the airflow going through the car like it's supposed to.
Exactly. So
If the fans
an
are-
engine running at an overheated temperature is basically a lot more expensive than pulling leaves out and double checking all those little things.
Right.
How about exhaust? Like I said before, you get it hydraulically up in the air,
Yes.
so you might as well check the exhaust.
Yeah, I check to see if there's any holes in it, any cracks in it, if it's any rusted, if the muffler's okay, it's not rattling inside.
Okay,
Check-
which is annoying at the very
Yeah.
least.
Check the heat shields on converters because that's the biggest thing for rattles.
Okay,
When you're sitting at an idle and stuff, it will rattle. I will try to tighten it up and weld it up
okay,
so you don't hear the rattles in it.
okay. No, welding is not inside free, but you cut for
Some-
Okay, so I was going to cut the video and actually say that you don't do welding for free, but you're saying actually you do. If it's a
the
small
heat-
problem.
If it's a small problem, if the heat shield's rattling, I'll take a little tack to keep it from rattling.
Zap, done.
Zap done.
It's all part of the service.
It's all part of the service.
And we're
It's
not
to
even
help
done.
you. It will help you better.
Okay, so what about suspension also?
Suspension, you're checking the ball joints, you're checking your tie rod ends, you're checking your struts. Make sure the struts aren't leaking, make sure the springs aren't broken, where it's going to affect your handling on the road and your tire wear, which is the biggest thing.
Oh
The
wow,
wear
so
of
it
the tire
actually
rod.
kind of affects alignment too.
Affects alignment too, yes.
Pulls to the right or left or
to
something
right
like
or
that.
left.
And we've all had that problem at home. So what about fluid leaks? I mean, it's not just checking for oil, it's checking for all fluid leaks.
It's all fluid leaks. You know, you're checking your brake fluid. You know, make sure there's no leaks there. You can lose your brakes very easy.
Because the oil would actually...
The brake fluid would actually leak out, and you could lose your brakes.
Right. Okay.
You check for fuel leaks. Make sure there's no fuel leaks, no lines are rotted where you're gonna end up having fluid leaking out all over the place.
So like on your garage floor, for
On
instance.
your garage floor, yes.
Interior safety check. We won't actually show the interior. It's a little too hard to wind the camera around inside the car. But they actually do an interior safety check. So you check the seat belts to make sure those are in operation.
Yes.
But you also check all those little dashboard lights, which always confuse me.
Make sure those dashboard lights go out like they're supposed to.
Right. So the dashboard lights actually correspond to what's going on inside the engine.
Right.
Okay. And how about battery? Now we all have, stations tuned where we have dialed in, programmed in, okay. But when you disconnect the battery, a lot of those stations will go away.
Yeah.
So you have actually a little special tool to make certain.
A tool that we put in the cigarette lighter that keeps the car alive while I'm changing the battery, so you don't lose your stations. Or some cars that have codes in the radio and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. So at least you don't have to worry about that. One of the horrible things is that if you get your car back and, oh God, now I got to reprogram all my stations. And finally, an exterior surface check.
Exterior surface check, I'm checking for rust, dings, broken door handles, broken mirrors.
Or mirrors that even just rattle around a little.
Mirrors that rattle around a little bit.
Yeah, because if they vibrate a lot, you can't see what's going on outside.
Right.
Exactly. So the exterior safety check, the exterior check is just to make sure. And if you do find a piece of rust, then maybe you could just take a little paint. If you've got some color around, you could just touch it up really quick before it becomes a big problem.
Right.
Exactly. Well, that's about it, I think. Isn't that enough?